LEDs and resin. I've been experimenting lately with including LEDs into my resin projects. I love the idea as a way to enhance resin art, but I needed to find a way to be able to replace the LEDs if they ever failed. What I came up with was using resin to channel the light from one location to another, similar to fiber optics. I drilled 2 holes through the live edge down to the base where the LEDs will be routed in and installed flush. The light then will be cast upwards towards these resin icebergs that will be placed in later. I then filled in those holes with clear resin so that the light went dim shining through it. This is just a concept piece that allows me to experiment with these ideas before trying to make a table with this design. I used a piece of maple burl wood that I dyed blue because to me it really looked like it could be part of the ocean floor. I picked the wood up from Worldwide Burl, who has a great selection of these exotic slabs, and I plan on getting 2 similar ones for the table that I'll be making soon. Because I want the light to shine all the way from the live edge to the top of the piece, I went with clear resin with just a little bit of tinted blue dye. After a few days, the deep pour resin that I used cured and I was able to break it free and start the finishing process. I was careful when surfacing and sanding the top because I didn't want to go all the way down to the wood. I left about 1/8 inch of resin over the top surface. Later, I'm going to be applying a tabletop epoxy for a final flood coat finish. After rounding all the edges so they're slightly rounded, I needed to router in the area where each light will be installed. I ended up finding a round nose router bit that was the perfect width and shape for the LED lights. After sanding all the surfaces to 100 grit, I started to apply the tabletop epoxy. It doesn't take long to apply and gives it a glass-like finish. Using a heat gun, I can make sure that the epoxy is evenly spread out and pop any air bubbles that are stuck in it. I installed the rechargeable LED lights and then it was time to test it. They are really small and low wattage, but I was surprised how much they lit up the resin. The lights came with a remote that had different mode settings and different color options, so I played around with those. I pretty much made this up as I went, and I wasn't sure at all how it would turn out. Because I had only worked with LEDs in resin a few times, I felt that there was a lot to learn working through this project. I already have a long list of ways to improve this design for the next project. Because this was an experimental piece, I wasn't making it for a client, so it is available for sale up on my website. It's not perfect by any means because it was an experiment, but I still think it would look great hanging up on the wall, and at night, it can help light up the room. Drop a comment and let me know your thoughts if you think this would be a good design as a table.